Hey there again, everybody! The Tribal Butterfly's back again. Okay, now, I have been getting a lot of questions about people making their own patterns and people wanting to make their own patterns. So this video is going to be just briefly generally talking about pattern making. Okay, now, before I get into all this gobbledygook up here, I just want to say, personally speaking, I don't really think that a lot of people need to make their own patterns. Hear me out. If you are like determined to become a pattern maker for a career, or you really want to go into fashion design, or you really want to go into costume design, and that's your career and that's what you want to do, then go for it. It's important to know how to do. But if you are just cosplaying as a hobby, or it's not something that you really want to do with your future career, it's just something that you really love right now, you don't really have to do pattern making. You can super easily just buy a commercial pattern and build your personal cosplay patterns off of those. If you don't know what a commercial pattern is, hold on one second, I'm going to show you. You know these little baggy packages that have pattern pieces inside, and you look at the picture on the front and you're like, oh, I like that, I want that, or oh my god, that is so close to the cosplay I want to do. If I just make that a little shorter, that's perfect. You know these? These are commercial patterns. Commercial patterns are patterns that have already been drafted. They're done. They're ready for you to cut out the size that you want to use and start sewing really, really fast. These are awesome for many, many reasons. All the work is done for you, and these are just a couple of bucks to buy. These are cheap. These are not expensive. These are great, okay? If you are cosplaying for fun, or you're like, I feel like having a new skirt, that skirt looks pretty, I want to make this skirt, these are fabulous, okay? Awesome, awesome, awesome. I suggest using these as often as possible. Even if you have to make slight adjustments to these, it is so much easier than pattern making, okay? So I'm going to put this away, because this is not what we're talking about. This is the finished pattern, all the work done for you, amazing. What we're talking about is pattern making from scratch, from nothing. From blank paper and a list full of measurements, okay? Now, pattern making is a very, very long, can be very complicated, formulatic, lot of repetition, lot of math, okay? Long procedure, okay? And before you even start pattern making, you have to make a block. Now, for those of you who don't know what a block is, and I don't expect a lot of you to know what a block is, to be completely honest with you, I didn't even know what a block was until I started taking my course, and my course incorporates pattern making, so that's when I learned. A block is something like this. These are a bunch of blocks. I have them all together. This is for a skirt. I've also got, one in here for a blouse. I've got one in here for jeans. I've got one in here for regular pants. These are blocks. What blocks are they're like if someone took your measurements, okay, your specific measurements, and used them to draw a flat version of you. Okay? Does that make sense? Like, it's basically your body if it was one-dimensional and flat, spread out, okay? And what you do with these blocks is the blocks are used to make the patterns, okay? What you'll do is before you can even start making a pattern, you have to make the block. Then once you have the block, you take the block and you start making the pattern based off of the block. I don't know if that made sense to you guys. I'm really sorry if it didn't, but that just goes to show pattern making, it's not easy. Complicated stuff, okay? Now, personally, I'm pretty good at pattern making. I love pattern making, but it is a lot of work and it is expensive to do because you need expensive stuff to help you out, okay? Some of the things that you'll need: tracing paper, okay? This isn't even the first paper you're gonna use. First, you're gonna use like huge pieces of newsprint because you're drawing your entire body flattened out, right? So you need huge paper to draw that on. Once that's done, you can take tracing paper to trace over it your pattern pieces, and that's how you take your pattern pieces off of the block. It's complicated, I'm sorry. But tracing paper is super important. These dudes are not cheap, and these are probably the cheapest thing out of everything you need. So this roll right here was about $20. I might get like 2 or 3 patterns out of it, to be honest with you, if that. $20 right here. Okay, pencils. You cannot use the regular pencils. They have to be a specific, I don't know, amount of pencil-y goodness, okay? And they have to be the pushy kind, because the sharpening kind, you'll be sharpening constantly and they don't draw thin enough. You need very thin lines, because every line you do needs to be 100% precise, okay? You make a mistake on your pattern or your block and it's not going to fit right. So important, special pencils. I don't know how much these cost because I didn't buy mine. My teacher gave it to me because she loves me, and I'm in school and couldn't afford a pencil, so she gave me one. But yeah, these puppies are not cheap. I'm sorry. I don't know the price. Your rulers. You cannot do pattern making without rulers, and you need specific rulers, and each one costs a lot of money. This one here is a regular see-through inch ruler, but you absolutely want something that goes in inches, and you absolutely want something that's see-through. This was, I believe, $15. Pretty sure. But this is important, okay? Regular rulers you can use. They come in handy too, but they have to be actually for sewing, because there's specific stuff on this ruler. So yeah, it looks like a regular ruler. I'm sorry, it's actually not. This one was, I think, $7. Then you get into the little bit more expensive rulers. This one is a 45-degree angle ruler, really good for making your armhole notches. This was $20 for this ruler. This one is an awesome ruler. It gives you the curve of like your hip, which is great, hip curve. It also gives you the L square side, which is amazing. I use this ruler for like everything. That's why it's all scratched up and banged up and looks horrible now. But yeah, really good. I think that one was $20 too. This one is a very form curve ruler. And these are also super important. You use these for every curve. You use them for your hip curve. You use them for, you know what? There's a lot of curves on your body. Feel yourself. You're not a straight edge, so a lot of curves. Very important. This was like $30, this ruler. Sucks, huh? Very important, though. You have to buy it. You cannot make anything without it. This one is an L square. L square ruler, also incredibly important. You can't even start without this one. The very first thing you do is use this to draw this line and this line, and you have to use this to do it. Otherwise, you don't know that your lines are perfectly perpendicular. You have to have this. It's ridiculously important. This is like $35, $40 right here. Okay, so of course, I talk too much, but what do you want? There's a lot to say about patterns, right? So this is going to have to be a 2-part video. I'm so sorry. I hate doing 2-parters as much as you guys hate watching 2-parters. Everybody always seems to watch part 2 and not part 1. Anyways, please watch both, and then you'll know what the heck I'm talking about. Okay, go watch the other one. Go.